The Calm English Podcast.
From Soft English. Have you ever been in a situation, a new class, a new job, meeting someone for the first time, and they say, "So, tell me about yourself," and your mind just goes completely blank?
It is such a simple question, and somehow it is one of the hardest things to answer well in another language. You know things about yourself. You just cannot find the words fast enough.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Mia. And today on Soft English Podcast, we are doing something practical and a little different. We are actually going to build a real introduction, live, together, right now. By the end of this episode, you will have your own ready-to-use answer to that exact question.
And the best part, you do not need to memorize anything complicated. We are going to take this one small piece at a time, and Mia and I will answer everything ourselves first, so you can hear exactly how natural and simple this can sound.
Let's start with the easiest one. Ethan, what is your name and where are you from?
My name is Ethan, and I'm originally from a small town, though I have lived in a few different cities since then. What about you?
I'm Mia. I grew up in a busy city, completely different from where you grew up. It is interesting, the two of us coming from such different places.
It really is. Okay, notice how simple that was. My name is, and I am from. That is genuinely the entire structure. No complicated grammar, just two honest facts.
And if you are listening right now, try this in your head, just those two pieces. Your name and where you are from. That is already the beginning of a real introduction.
Let's add the next layer. What do you do, Mia? Work, study, anything you spend your time on.
I work in something creative, I do a bit of writing and content work, which honestly fits perfectly with hosting this podcast. What about you?
I do something a little more structured, more organized day to day, but I have always loved the more creative side of things on the weekends. It is actually one of the reasons I enjoy this podcast so much. It lets both sides of me show up.
That is such an honest answer, and I think that is worth noticing. You do not need a perfect, impressive job title. You can describe what you do in your own simple words, the way you just did.
Exactly. So now we have name, where you are from, and what you do. Already, that is a full, usable sentence someone could say in almost any situation.
Let's go a little deeper. Tell me something about your family, Ethan. Just whatever feels comfortable to share.
I have one sibling, a sister, a bit younger than me. We are close, though we live in different places now. What about your family?
I have one brother, older than me, and honestly, we are quite different people, but we get along well. It is funny how that works sometimes.
I think family is one of those topics that instantly makes a conversation feel warmer. The moment you mention it, the other person usually has something to share back, and suddenly it is not just an introduction anymore, it is an actual connection.
That is such a good point. A simple detail like that can completely change the tone of a conversation, from formal to genuinely friendly.
Now here is a question I think people enjoy answering the most. Do you have a pet, Mia?
I do not currently, but I have always wanted a cat, something calm and a little independent. Do you have one?
I actually do have a dog. He is incredibly friendly, a little chaotic honestly, but I would not trade him for anything.
See, even something small like that adds so much personality to an introduction. A pet, real or hoped for, makes you instantly more memorable to the person listening.
Now let's move to favorites, because I think this is where an introduction really starts to feel like you. What is one of your favorite foods, Mia?
Honestly, something warm and comforting, like a good soup on a cold evening. What about you?
I have always loved something simple but satisfying, the kind of food that feels like home. And here is something I want you listening to actually try right now. Pause for just a second and think of your own favorite food in English. Just one word or one short phrase.
You do not need a perfect sentence yet, just the word itself. That is already progress.
Let's add one more layer, something you genuinely enjoy doing in your free time. A hobby, Mia, what is yours?
I love reading, especially in the evening with a quiet cup of tea. It genuinely relaxes me after a long day. What about you?
For me, it is definitely music. I could listen to it for hours, and honestly, it has a similar effect on me that reading has on you. Different activity, Same feeling of calm.
It is interesting how different hobbies often serve the same emotional purpose for different people.
Now here is something a little more honest. Something I think we rarely include in introductions, but that genuinely makes them feel more real. Something you do not particularly enjoy. Mia, is there something you genuinely dislike?
Honestly, waiting in long lines, something about standing there with nothing to do makes the time feel endless. What about you?
Mornings, if I'm being completely honest. I have never been a true morning person, no matter how many times I have tried to become one.
I think including something like that, something slightly imperfect, makes an introduction feel so much more genuine. Nobody actually believes someone who claims to love absolutely everything.
That is such a good point. And it brings me to something I want to say before we put everything together. There is one more piece of this we have not mentioned yet. Something that changes how an entire introduction lands. Stay with us, because this last part might be the most important piece of all.
Okay, now let's actually put this together. Ethan, can you give a full, complete introduction using everything we just built?
I will try. My name is Ethan. I am originally from a small town, though I have lived in a few cities since. I do something fairly structured for work, though I love the creative side of life too. I have one younger sister, and I have a dog who is wonderfully chaotic. I love music, especially in the evenings, though mornings are honestly a struggle for me.
That was completely natural, and notice, it was not a list of robotic facts. It actually sounded like you, like a real person talking.
Your turn, Mia.
My name is Mia. I grew up in a busy city, and these days I work in something creative, mostly writing. I have one older brother, and while I do not have a pet yet, I would love a cat one day. I love reading in the evenings with tea, though I will admit waiting in lines is something I genuinely dislike.
That sounded effortless, and I think that is the real lesson here. An introduction does not need to be perfect or impressive. It just needs to sound like an honest version of you.
And here is the piece I mentioned earlier, the one that changes everything. You do not have to say all of this every single time. You choose which pieces fit the moment.
If you are meeting someone briefly, name and what you do might be enough. If you are at a relaxed gathering, maybe you skip work completely and just talk about a hobby or a pet instead.
The pieces are building blocks. You decide which ones to use depending on who you are talking to and how much time you actually have.
That single idea takes so much pressure off. You are not trying to deliver one perfect speech. You are simply choosing a few honest pieces that fit the moment.
For your practice today, try writing your own short introduction in the comments. Just 2 or 3 pieces, your name, where you are from, maybe one thing you love. We would genuinely love to read every single one.
And if this episode helped you feel a little more ready for that question, tell me about yourself. Please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who also gets nervous in that exact moment.
Take care of yourself and take care of your English. This is Mia.
And this is Ethan. You have been listening to Soft English. Bye, everyone.
Bye.